Welcome back from the break. Christophe and Tahina, I hope you can hear me. I don't think you can see. Yeah, now you can see me. Hi. Nice to meet you, Severin. I have the honors of being the host for the conference. Tahina I've met in Lucerne in Switzerland. Christophe, I have not had the pleasure with you, but it's a pleasure now to meet you. So we will continue the conference with I guess we can call it a double presentation from Airbus. Yes, okay. Where Christophe starts us off and then Tahina is going to take over. Okay. All right, without further ado, please, Christophe.
Okay, super. So, can I start? Yeah, okay. Alors, just before starting, first of all, thank you very much for welcoming us in Airbus to join and attend your conference. It was a great pleasure for me to share some Airbus, I would say, experience, best practices on our, let's say, challenge, which is today the way to speak the same language in our digital world. So I am Christophe Ducamp. I play a role in different disciplines, and today I'm leading at Airbus Group the system engineering and MBSC governance. I try to share with you today what's the challenge to succeed in Airbus business by taking care, I would say, the transformation of digital transformation. So my presentation aims today to really share with you from Airbus sides in a simple way, in simple words, how we are succeeding in our transformation program. So in Airbus, 5 years ago, we have launched a transformation program at a company-wide level in order to succeed on our digital challenges. So, and we put in place at Airbus group-wide, meaning the different divisions in Airbus, we are doing manufacturing, aircraft, drones, satellites, ground segment, and so on and so on. So we have a big portfolio, and it's quite important from the transformation to have a common and, I would say, a standard reference to speak the same language on the way to succeed on our digital ecosystem, digital threats. So the goal of the project is called DDMS, Digital Design, Manufacturing, and Services. So what does that mean? This is to have the complete system, entire life cycle management from the beginning of stakeholder needs to the end of life of the product. So, by the way, this project, Digital Transformation Program called DDMS, it's obliged Airbus to rethink the way of designing and operating our products. Not only in state of the art, as we have played again since over 3 decades, but now entering in the digital age. And it's quite important for us to federate the synergy, not only in Airbus, I would say central, but taking care of the complete Airbus external enterprise, because we are working with many stakeholders, many suppliers, many systems, and it's quite important to have a single source of truth for doing the transformation in digital threats or digital continuity. So this is the goal of this project. What is quite important from the project is just to have how we move from the digital ecosystem to the reality, to the link with the physical and product delivery solutions to operate our product in accordance with the customer needs. So this is just a simple bridges from the virtual co-development versus the physical execution. And what is quite important due to these interactive sessions, how we can improve, how we can optimize in parallel the complexity of our product. So to do that, we need to define a strategy and a vision. So this is the goal of this project, Airbus Digital DDMS. It's quite important first to think about how we can leverage new technologies, innovations, okay? But the prerequisites of our challenge is also refer to what are our standard foundations, okay? Because we need to speak the same language, because we need to harmonize and disseminate the data, the models, the integration, the validation, the verifications, but in I would say, in a smarter and faster way of working, okay? So the standards is really a key driver for Airbus, okay? And we need to improve the standards by taking care of the current maturity of the standard, but to comply with the future evolution. And this is why And this is my colleague Steiner will give some, let's say, lecture on this standard evolution. Another way is also to federate and to exchange, and to, this is why we use the word co-development, co-architecture, okay? What is quite important, this is also to master the complexity, but by taking care the innovation, the creativity for the teams, and to automate as is possible to do our processes methods, okay? But not in a let's say, lead time development, but by challenging the lead time development in a more smarter or in a more agile way, okay? So this is a complete Airbus challenge from virtual co-development tools versus the optimized product execution deliveries. How to do that? In fact, the project called DDMS is split in 5 pillars, as you can see. The first one is just to keep in the center of gravity of our transformation the people, because we need to update the skills, update the competencies. And this is why we cannot succeed on the digital transformations if we are not aligning the competence models or the learning development. So this is really where are today the key roles, the key jobs, the key activities that we need to think about tomorrow. Because just for your information, we started system engineering, we are entering in digital models, we are putting MBSE, multidisciplinary analysis, modeling simulation, and we have created a new roles. It was not the case 10 years ago. And this is thanks to this kind of transformation and competencies that we need to federate the ways that the people will be on board to succeed on our future project and product development. Pillar 2 is, of course, on the modeling and simulations. How we can validate in an integrated way a single models, how we can simulate, how we can modelize, taking care of the different parts of the puzzles of our digital ecosystem, from the engineering, from the design, but the link with the manufacturing, the link with the industrials, the link with the end-to-end support to operate the product, okay? The link to deploy the services, and it's quite important to have this complete I would say landscape and framework and architecture of how today modeling and simulation is really a detrimental package to succeed on our digitalizations. The third one is focused on, as I said, co-development. I cannot share that we cannot work together without putting in place a co-development and integrations, okay? Aerodynamic, structure, load, design, stress, software, hydraulic, and so on and so on. It's quite important to have the complete and entire disciplines in a collaborative manner, okay? In order to support by the pillar 4, we will address the digital continuity, okay? In order that all of us having a data asset management in different type of discipline is also really to merge in a single way how we have today a baseline to speak the same language when we are going to review a product or to assess a product from different, let's say, contributors. And the pillar 4 is also a prerequisite for the pillar 5, which is at least to deliver on time, on cost, on quality, our product. Because yes, for Airbus, we have also now to rely on the ramp up because we need to deliver over 70 aircraft per month. It's quite important to have the entire supply chains fully, let's say, consider in our adherence and adoptions. We need to deliver over 70 products per month. So this is a detrimental challenge to integrate the product line in our digitalization. So in order to simply be pragmatic with you, we define a single source of truth. What is the Airbus? Digital, design, manufacturing, system engineering, and model base of the system engineering, okay? First, we need to learn the process on top. We need to speak the same language for what are the processes that we have to do, okay? To do the processes, we move to the methodology. For example, requirement, validation, verification, management, okay? Because I let you imagine, as you could have on the number of requirements, okay? How we can reuse some, let's say, capabilities to serve our, let's say, product solution, capability, validation, verification. also for Airbus, it's quite important due to certification to link with, I would say, dysfunctional war. It's safety, the dysfunctional. We need to understand the function and the dysfunctional war in the same manner, in same architecture. To do that, we need to have a kind of I would say a pivot model in order a profile to speak the same language for ensuring the data continuity in extended enterprise. We want not only to exchange the data, but we want to use and to share a model, for example, from suppliers, and we need to integrate the model for the review. So this is why today we need to also check that when we have to perform as a mean of compliance. It's called a 3D IPAF, which is the physical part of our parametric architecture framework, to ensure that we will have the appropriate dossier analysis to justify the ways that we will check and verify our product delivery. And of course, to do that, we need to have a single reference in terms of methodologies that we are deploying in Airbus. It's called MOFLT for the system architecture framework. MOFLT meaning that mission, operation, function, logical, technical. And at least what is quite important, I said, this is without forgotten to upskill, to train our wide communities. Okay, so why we are doing that? Because I'm just sharing a simple way the complex portfolio of Airbus by taking care of the different calendar roadmap in front of us, because we need to upgrade, we need to prove, we need to deliver a brand new product, and we need to shape the future with opportunity by enabling the new technology to secure our future delivery. So as you can see, I'm just sharing with you the number of, let's say, key elements driving our future de-risking program, but also the way that we need to put at scale this LC-MBSE methodology, because for the way to succeed in our digital ecosystem, you know that we are working with over 4,000 suppliers, and it's quite important to have the same processes, the same approach, the same process, method, and tools, okay, in order to de-risk in the Airbus entire, I will say, company, the way that we will succeed together, okay? So to do that, just maybe, and it will be detailed by my colleague Tagda, but just as explained, Airbus Extended Enterprise, we need to have one and a single one system engineering reference. So I put in the middle, as you can see, the link with the architecture framework, okay, just the key blocks or the key building blocks, just for you to know how we are, let's say, defining our complex digital project, but to simplify the way to manage a different link between the framework, the link with the resources, the link to operate, the link to deploy, and so on and so on. So this is exactly the system architecture framework and variability that we need to rely on. And without any standards, of course, we will fail. So this is why behind this simple representation of the system engineering reference, we need to compose with the standards. Standard dealing with system engineering, standard dealing with modeling and simulation, standard dealing with interoperability, standard dealing with security, and so on and so on, in order to ensure that we will have the capability to export, to share, to integrate any models in Airbus company-wide. So this is the way that we want to go on that exercise, and at least in order to succeed on that exercise, it was for Airbus company-wide mandatory for us to have the CEO contribution. So this is why in Airbus, in order to succeed on this digital transformation, it was signed by the CEO an Airbus system engineering governance policy at Airbus company-wide. So this is a CEO request, okay, in order to influence and to onboard all the contributors, all the stakeholders in our complex company. So we have the missions, we have the visions, we have today some initiatives that Taina will share with you just in a couple of minutes, but without empowerment from the highest levels of organization, we cannot succeed on that exercise. So this is why this policy has been signed off last year in order to succeed on the way to implement the key company-wide requirements. So this is just in a simple way my side to share with you the main challenge for Airbus. Okay, I'm just saying that I will share my presentation to all of you. Sorry, but we are using an Airbus language where I need to explain with you what are the glossary, avoiding any, let's say, misunderstanding. And this is my last word of my introduction. So thank you for your listening, and I give the floor to Taina, and maybe we could ask later on to your questions. Taina?
Thank you, Christophe. Should we take questions straight away, maybe, or should we? Did you say you wanted the question? Maybe there you are. Afterwards, or maybe makes sense to do it now.
Makes sense to do it now. Makes sense to do it now. Makes sense to do it now. Makes sense to do it now. Makes sense to do it now. C'est bon. C'est bon. Merci.
Yeah,
we have any questions?
Do we have comments or questions? Klaus has a comment or question.
Okay, yes.
Thank you very much, first of all, for a fantastic presentation. Really good insights into what you're doing as a leader in your industry. One question to one of the last slides where say all the parts had been put together. There was on the mid-right side, there was an integration of KJIS, MDAO data exposition, KJIS, and I think that is likely about knowledge graphs, import, export. Is that correct? And what use, so to what degree do you make use of ontologies and knowledge graphs, and how would you judge its importance also to facilitate the collaboration and the collaborative systems engineering with your partners?
Yeah. You're right. Thank you for your questions. As you can see, sorry. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess yes.
Oh, there's some microphones.
Can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Vas-y, hein. Un écho. Sorry for your of the audio. Okay. Maybe it's better. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. My colleague is doing 3 situations. I guess it's better now. Can you hear us? Non, c'est bon. Mais là, peut-être que tu vas remettre la présentation, parce qu'il ne voit pas ma présentation. À moi de la voir. Vu que c'est long. OK. Can you hear us? Oh, attends, bouge pas, je remets mon micro pour voir. Bouge pas. Can you hear us? Okay, sorry. Is it better for you in terms of audio quality? Okay, so I try to answer in a simple way. Thank you for your key questions. Yes, the way to legitimate the importance of this overall engineering architecture, as you say very well, you can see the different artifacts on our system architecture framework. But the importance for us was to demonstrate the capability to deploy LSE and MBSE solutions in a robust manner without jeopardizing the different enterprise, company, suppliers in their, I would say, architecture framework. So as Airbus is the reference for deploying the methods, meaning that all the contributor has to apply the methodology, as you can see, for doing the model-based system engineering. Okay, but yet the way to have this MBSE framework architecture based on different capability definitions, it was to really demonstrate that we have an MBSE solution company-wide. We test it, we check it, we deploy it in order to get the maturity level of this MBSE Airbus group-wide solution. Okay, and to do that, we don't want to generate a constraints to our contributors. And this is why you can see the way to translate from the Airbus in-house to the Airbus external house by using a kind of that digital continuity, by using a kind of export model, we need to develop, it's called a SECAM, which is a system engineering collaborative architecture model, which is a kind of pivot model as a transfer model in order to minimize the constraints. Okay, for example, we are able to work without jeopardizing. For example, we are working with let's say a system comme Thales. Thales is also using an MBSE method with Capella, Arcadia. But what is quite important, whatever the company or enterprise methods that they are using, we demonstrate the capability to integrate, operate, federate, unify, harmonize, standardize this collaboration. Okay, this is a collaboration where we have demonstrated thanks to this capability. You're right, it's quite important to unify, harmonize, and standardize. So this is why you have seen that it was a strong commitment from the CEO saying that I want to see in Airbus a single source of system engineering. I want to see a single one system engineering references in order to enable the best model MBSE, the best MDAO, the best modeling simulations, let's say solutions. So this is exactly the way that we want to federate this kind of needs, okay, in terms of capability throughout the solutions or deployment solutions, okay? And we cannot deploy internally Airbus or externally in Airbus without taking care of the different requirements, you know, like export, IP, cybersecurity, and so on. Okay, and this is the way of a key challenge we have had last 5 years to succeed on that exercise. And we improve, and to conclude my answer, we improve the standards. Okay, I want to come back to this one because this is for me the key elements. We cannot federate different ecosystems without having in mind what we are discussing on, what we are dealing with, without aligning the different contributors. So standard is a part of. I didn't mention any standards because you can see we have many standards, and this is exactly what Taina will detail after. Taina. Thank you.